Welcome back, guys, to Travel.Life.Dreams. Today, I want to do a what's in my wallet for Q2 and let you know my future plans as it pertains to travel and credit cards. As you see, I have quite a few. It's not as many as most, it's actually 9. And we're going to go through my entire credit journey and why I picked each card. And it starts off the Capital One Quicksilver card. Oh, there you go. It was my first card I ever got because I had a really low credit score, and Capital One really hangs their hats on people that are trying to build credit and those who don't have established credit history. My credit score was like high fives, low sixes when I got that one. The the downside to the one I got was there's two versions of this card, and the one I got had the annual fee because my credit was so low I had to get the annual fee one. But there is a no annual fee card that is exactly the same perks, same benefits, everything. Just one you pay for, one you don't. Last year I actually upgraded from my no annual fee card to this one. It's the exact same card as I said, but it was after 5 years of paying the annual fee. I didn't even know about changing cards without canceling them. So, our product change, which is just exchanging one card for another. I exchanged the annual fee card for the no annual fee card. That was because I hadn't done any research on cards like I've done now, and I just want to get rid of the annual fee, but I had a choice of getting a better card. And hopefully this year I can product change to the better card I should have gotten last year. But I got that card to start my credit journey because getting cars and mortgages and loans and anything like that, if you're not paying for it completely and utterly in cash, it comes down to your credit score. One of the major factors on how much you will actually have to pay comes down to your credit score. So I got that card to start building my credit. Now, the second card I got is the Discover It card. Like my son said on the background, yeah, every year when every time it's expired and you can update, I always change the picture. Last time it was a wolf, this time it's the sunset. We'll see what it is next time. However, I got that card because I was monitoring my credit score using Credit Karma. And Credit Karma gives you your Vantage score and not your FICO score. And your FICO score is the one that everybody pulls to see if you're credit worthy. Now, they can pull one of three separate FICO scores. You have TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. That Discover card gives me my TransUnion FICO score. And that's why I got it. I was excited to get that one for that reason because I want to actually start keeping up with my FICO instead of my Vantage score. So that's why I got that card. And that also led me to get my next card, which is the Citi Double Cash card. Now, this card gives me my Equifax credit score. And that is the reason I got it. My scores seemed to be plateauing, like it wasn't jumping as it had been previously. So I opened up another card to get me another FICO score and also to jump my scores. Because after the initial bump you get a small ding when they pull your credit score, but opening a new credit line gives you a jump to your credit score. It could be anywhere between 5 and 70 points, I've seen, depending on how low your credit score is. But after that initial jump, responsible use lets your credit score keep climbing at a consistent or semi consistent rate. And after a while, using the same cards, even if you use them responsibly, your credit won't increase as often or as much. So my card started plateauing, but I had no use for another card. I was not in the travel game. I was not in the cashback game. Actually, I just wanted my credit score to move. So I wasn't too fussed about getting those because I figured 3 credit cards would be enough. And I have 2 of my FICO scores and just pretty much assumed that the third one would be somewhere around those two. So I wasn't really too fussed about getting another one. But my credit score started plateauing again, and I was at that point I had already gotten my house and a car, so didn't actually care. If you pay your mortgage and your long-term loans consistently, you will get a jump from that as well. So there was really no need for me to get another credit card. even though I said to start this, I have 9 and I'm just at 3, so obviously something changed. What changed was I wanted to get something from Amazon. I was going to get an elliptical because I was trying to start losing weight. And I went to Amazon looking for Bowflexes and Total Gyms and all of that. They were very expensive. Very expensive. So I figured I'd just start slow, get me a little weight bar and an elliptical. But as I was going to checkout, they said, hey, why don't you apply for our card and we'll give you $200 credit. It was like $500 for what I was getting. Like, you want to give me basically 40% off from something I'm willing to spend the money on. All I have to do is get your card. And bam, Amazon Prime card. Got it immediately. Now, the thing about the Amazon Prime card, I basically use it just for my Amazon. It was my first metal card. And I fell in love with the way cards look and the different feel of them, more so than what they can do for you. As you noted, I haven't talked about the multipliers on any cards because these cards are all basic cash back. The Quicksilver is 1.5% back on everything. The Discover has 5% rotating category, so every 3 months it changes what you get cash back from. The double cash, it's called the double cash because it gives you 2% cash back on everything. A lot of people in the travel card game will call that a catch-all card. Give me a minute, I'll get you there. And the Amazon Prime card has multiple categories, but the main one is 5% back from everything on Amazon. So that card gave me $200 off a $500 purchase. And on the other $300, they gave me a 5% cash back, which was, basically it's what, $15? No, sorry, $5. Give me a second. It's bad math. 300, 1% would be $3. Yeah, I was right. $15. $15 back. So it was essentially $285 for something I was going to spend $500 on. So card was great for me. Now, as I said, I was done before I got that card. And I was really, really done after I got it. Because I didn't want to be the person that had a whole bunch of cards in the wall. I was like, man, you see people with just thick wallets like this with just all the cards. I'm like, there's no way you need all those cards. There's no way you could use all those cards. Then I went on a trip. Okay. Me and my friend usually take a trip every year, like a nice friends trip with, could just be us, extra people. But this one was a trip of 4 of us. with our partners, if you will. Now, it was a trip that I was very, very ill prepared for, like financially. I hadn't planned it out at all. It's just like, okay, I can afford to get there. Now, have fun. Whatever I spend there, I'll just pay it off when I get back because I'm responsible with my credit card, so I'm not too fussed about it. And my job lets me get as much overtime as I can handle to cover me being stupid on trips. However, on this particular trip, we ran into issues before we got there and when we left. Our flight was delayed like about 12 hours before we got there. Then when we got ready to leave, our flight was canceled. And if you don't have insurance or the right credit card, you're pretty much screwed on getting a refund in America anyway. So he was on the first class ticket, so they just moved him to a different flight. I was in economy, and it was like, hey, best of luck to you. So we had to spend another night in New York. It's an extra night in New York, and had to buy a plane ticket for the next day. So a last-minute plane ticket, plus an extra night in New York, threw every bit of math and budgeting I had out the window. Now, I can spread it through different cards, and neither card would get too much of a credit card utilization. Like, I wouldn't spend too much of my available credit. However, I knew that would take more than the 2 weeks usually to pay it off, 2 weeks to a month usually to pay it off. And I was really worried my credit score would take a really big hit. So what I did was, because it had been years since I opened the card, I went ahead and applied and opened another one. That is the American Express Blue Cash Every Day. I opened that card for 2 reasons. One is so I can get a new credit line. So all my utilization across all 5 now cards would be low enough that my credit score wouldn't take a big hit. And that card came with a 0% APR, so I got no interest rate. I can't remember if it was for 6 or 12 months, can't remember. So I figured I would just flood all my new payments into that card while I paid down the other cards from the trip, which worked out perfectly fine. My credit score actually jumped like 75 points. Crazy jump. I did not expect it. But as that was my first American Express card, I found out that that card gives me my my Experian FICO score. So now I have 3 cards and I have all my FICOs. Very excited with that. Once I saw the jump, I was like about to touch 800s, and that's been a goal of mine. Funneling a lot of spend through that card taught me more about how your credit card is affected than anything up to this point. I had always thought you just use your card responsibly and everything's okay. True, but the percentage you use, if you are looking at across multiple cards, the percentage shows you across every card, and my percentage was still low. It was like 10 or 12. But on a couple of cards, the percentage was like 32%. And once you get over 30 on any card, your credit score starts taking massive hits. So I learned that, and I was like, oh man, I need to go ahead and like funnel straight payments into cards to get them all low around the 10%, which is what I usually keep. I try to keep it like really, really low because I don't actually need credit cards. I told you I got them for my scores, and I was trying to get a mortgage at the time. So once I had those things, didn't really need to keep pushing a lot of payments, pushing a lot of spend through the cards, because there's no reason. These are just cashback cards, and if you spend $100 on a 2% cashback card, you get $2. Like, ooh, it's not nothing, but it's not something that you would build any kind of payment around. You know what I'm saying? But while I was looking up, after I got that card, and I was looking up how I could get a refund from the canceled flight, that's when I found out that there is credit cards that allow you to do it, or you have to spend extra money when you buy your ticket to allow you to do it. Then that's when I was looking up cards to get travel insurance. So next time I fly, this wouldn't be an issue. I found out you get travel insurance through travel credit cards. And that is one of the first things that I learned that led eventually to this channel. So travel credit cards. You have some for flights, you have some for hotels, and you have some that are flexible. And when you start learning about travel credit cards, you will learn about systems that people use. The Chase trifecta, the Amex trifecta, the Citi trifecta. There's a Capital One bifecta or duo. So you start learning about these. And you can, if you're going to travel, which I plan on doing, this is what I do every year. I started like 4 years ago. And like every year I would take like 1 or 2 trips a year. So you start learning about the insurances you need to cover yourself on flights, cruises, hotels, things of this nature. And you find out there are cards that actually help gives you the status that you see. You've seen certain TV shows or movies where people are just upset. This is a platinum card. I have these benefits. So you would think you need a lot of spend to get those statuses, which you don't necessarily. You could just get a credit card that would give you certain statuses, and these statuses come with bonuses and insurances, but they also come with sign-up bonuses and category spend with higher than 2% cash back that leads you to be able to do even more trips. Now, when I first got into this, everybody I saw was talking about the Maldives, a place I'd never heard of, but it's Instagram worthy. It's a overwater bungalow, it's basically a house on the water with floor to ceiling windows. So you wake up and you're just looking out at the beautiful ocean, and everybody's like, hey, this is an aspirational travel. I'm like, aspirational? I'm like, yeah, you can do this entire trip spending no money. You can just use points from a credit card to get it. I'm sorry, spending no money and points from a credit card to stay at a place like this. Are you sure? They're like, yeah, each night would be like $2,000. So if you want a trip here, it's like 10,000 minimum if you're going to be there for a week. Like, or you could use what was in the video I saw. You could use 480,000 points because 120,000 points per night. And the one I saw was a Hilton redemption. It's got my numbers on the front, so I'm not going to let that clear in. And Hilton has 3 regular cards. They have the Hilton Honors card, the Hilton Surpass card, and the Hilton Aspire. Each of those at the time came with 100,000, 130,000, and 150,000 sign-up bonus. So if you put those 3 together, you're at 380. So you would only need like 80 more thousand for this, oh my God, this trip. And that's what I was starting to look at. Like, if I have to get a card to make sure that I can get cash back, that I can get refunded if my trip is canceled, and this card gives me points. These points can lead to travel, free travel. Then why wouldn't I get, like all the cards with all the points so I can go on all the trips for free? Because the thing that a lot of people, when they're selling these on YouTube, the thing that they skip is that each of these cards that gives you these wonderful bonuses require spend. It's a sign-up bonus with a spend requirement. For instance, I have the Hilton Honors card. I got it when the sign-up bonus dropped down. I didn't mind because I planned on getting 3 of them at the time. And the sign-up bonus was 80,000 points for $1,000 worth of spend. That's it? That's $1,000? I had a trip to go help my same friend from the trip to New York. He was moving and wanted to help me move. So I was going on a trip to help him. So he's in Texas. So $1,000 in Texas ain't going to last long. Went ahead and got that card and got that sign-up bonus, and I'm on my way. The day I got that card, I got another card. This is the Capital One Venture X. At the time when I was first learning about it, it was the new card on the block, and everybody was saying how great this card is. Much like the Citi Double Cash card, it has a 2% back on everything, but it also has a hotel and a flight spend as long as you use their portal. But it had a sign-up bonus of $4,000 for 75,000 points. Now, unlike the Hilton card that helps you get Hilton hotels, those 75,000 points are flexible. They can be transferred out to either flights or hotels, as long as they're a partner in it. And I was looking up all these aspirational travels and whatnot, and there's this airline called Emirates, and they have what's called the Q Suites, which is just one of the bougiest things that you will... No, I'm sorry, not Emirates, Qatar. It's the Qatar Q Suites, and it's considered one of the best business classes you can fly. And it looks luxurious. For one trip, one way, to the Maldives actually, it's 80,000 points of Qatar Avios, or British Avios, just want to transfer a partner. Something like 80,000 points for business class, one way. I can just get this basic spend here, and the multiplier for me spending would get me there. So I have a card I'm working to get the hotel there, so I got this card that would help me get the flight there, so it will all be for free. Now, the issue with that is, once you get through the sign-up bonus and the required spend for the sign-up bonus, you start thinking like, it's business class one way and almost 500,000 points to stay there. The flight back is like 7,000. If you want to do business class, of course. This is all the aspirational travel that people have been discussing, and is what was in my mind at the time. So I was like, okay, I'm going to need to get another card that I could use in conjunction with those last two, the Hilton card and the Venture X. So I could either get the Saver 1 card that I could change my Quicksilver, that first card, I could change that to a Saver 1. And I could run the Capital One bifecta, or duo, and I could start building points fast through that way because that has a lot of multipliers. We'll deal with all multipliers in a later video because this video is running long as I'm just talking about what's in my wallet. But I started to think like, okay, I need to go ahead and get the next step of the Hilton cards because I don't have a preference for hotels, but Hilton cards were easily explained. I could convince myself that a Hilton card is worth the money. It's simple to use. Everything is straightforward. If you get on a later video, I'll discuss the difference in some of these cards. And once you get into the nuances of the cards, it gets really murky unless you want to go all the way down the weeds. And the Capital One setup and the Hilton setups are easy. You don't have to worry about it. You can see it, understand it, know the problem. But when I went to sign up for my second Hilton card, I told you there was 3. I was going to go to the next one up, which was the Surpass. When I went to sign up for it, I found out I was in what's called Amex pop-up jail. In other words, Amex wouldn't give me another sign-up bonus. I can get the card, but without the sign-up bonus. And the sign-up bonus is the key for all aspirational travel. If you're not getting a sign-up bonus, do not get the card. So, I looked to get the Saver One card. I wasn't going to product change my Quicksilver. I was just going to quit using it, basically put like Netflix on it, throw it in the drawer somewhere. Wasn't going to worry about it anymore. But Capital One has rules that you can only get a card so close together. Regardless of the type of card, you have a time limit in between when you can get it. Like, okay. So I was going on another trip. It's a family trip. It's one I take every year. Not a big one, so didn't cost much. But every time I started looking up these things and like all the money I need to spend, I want a sign-up bonus every time I spend a lot of money. So I had a trip planned, couldn't get one of the cards I wanted, ended up getting this card, the IHG Rewards Premier card. Now this card is for Holiday Inns, but it had a 140,000 sign-up bonus for $3,000 worth to spend over 6 months, 3 to 6 months, but $3,000 is not a lot of money because I have for other trips planned even more this year. Like in 2 months, I'll be going to Hawaii. Then after that, I'm going to some cabins. Then I'm going to Vegas. I had trips planned, so I have money that I'm going to be spending. And I want to get cards so that while I'm spending this exorbitant money, because it's unnecessary the money I'm spending this year, every step of it, I want to get a sign-up bonus. So I have the sign-up bonus on those last 3 cards, and I got ready to buy my return flight, which I'm about to do as soon as I finish this video. And my return flight is going to be about $3,000. So if I'm going to spend $3,000, I want a sign-up bonus. And I needed to get a card that I could get a sign-up bonus on, which led me to a card that I didn't want, but it keeps me in an ecosystem and starts earning more transferable currency. That card is the Amex Gold card. Now, it's not a card I want, and next year I will be product changing away from it. I'm going to product change down to the green card, which is better for me. But the sign-up bonus was better on this card, so I got it. And that would be all 9 of my cards. Now, I explained to you the cards I have and why I have them. I haven't explained all the benefits of them, but that'll come in a later video. My plans further, well, outside of Q2 of this year, I'm going to go on these trips I have planned now. And around August, September, I'll be applying for another card. That card will be the Platinum card. The Platinum card is considered the granddaddy of travel cards, and its main benefit is lounges and hotel statuses. That's the main benefit. It is kind of a hard card to actually get day-to-day use out of, but for travel, it is now irreplaceable. And that's going to be the last card I get this year, other than the product change for my Saver One. Past that, I don't plan on getting another card unless I got a lot of big spend coming up and I want to get more sign-up bonuses. However, with the way I have it currently set up, I don't need to do any of those things, because now that I have a setup that I can keep going with and follow through with, it'll be a lot easier to maintain than to keep adding new for me and the way I spend. Because some people get cards every 2 to 3 months and get sign up bonuses, but that is like every 2 to 3 months you're spending $4,000 to $6,000. I don't spend $6,000 every 2 months. That's not what I do. That's not how my bank account is set up. So I'm gonna cultivate a nice system of using cards after a sign up bonus, using regular spend, the regular trips I'm gonna take, and using those points to parlay into a future aspirational travel. I will walk you through on a future video my current trip that I'm going to do in a couple of months, because one of the things I'm going to do, that Hilton card, I have enough points on it within the, almost a year I have it for a week in Hawaii. So I'll show you that as soon as I learn how to screen record and talk over it. That's a video I have coming up. And in future videos, we will walk through the intricacies of the multipliers and how these things go on together. But I just want to let you know what I have in my wallet currently, so you guys can see where I am. Then I'll discuss the points I have on them and the sign-up bonuses and my plans for future trips, payment methods, and future sign-up bonuses to help cover all the annual fees and aspirational trips, all nine. But now that you have a baseline of where I am, you guys can go ahead, like, follow, subscribe, and I will let you know how the rest of this goes. See you next time.